Hello everyone and welcome to another Clash Royale episode. In this one we're gonna see an amazing deck that is going to work in Arena 3, 4 and 5. We're gonna see two variations of it. So I started recording this video and then accidentally clicked on battle. I know it happens to you when you wanna click on the arena, and this happened to me as well, but I won it, so this is all good. Notice that I got the super magical chest, and I don't know whether I should open it or not. Let me know in the comments. It got 13 epics, 82 rares, and overall more than 400 cards and a lot of gold, so this is going to be amazing. So let's go to the deck. So this is the deck that I'm going to use. This is on my mini, because on my mini I have the witch, and this is one of the main troops, but on my main account unfortunately I don't have the witch, so I had to use some other troop, and for that I'm using the wizard. So you gotta get the wizard in Arena 5, and it might be hard if you're in Arena 3, if you're level 3, level 4, like my mini. So what I recommend, if you're low level 3 for example, you can definitely start a new account, drop your old one, and wait until you get the witch. You know that in the beginning when you're doing the training session you do get the first epic card, and many people are getting the witch, so it's definitely worth making a new account for this deck. So let's go a bit about the troops in this deck. You have the knight. I actually found it very useful. In the previous video I said that it's totally useless, don't upgrade it, but for this one it's gonna be very useful because it acts very well in defense and also pretty good as a shield on offense. The goblin hut is very important because it takes a lot of goblins into the enemy side when he's attacking you. The bomber is good against skeletons, goblins, and all those stuff. Barbarians are very good in defense against the prince, against other barbarians, against P.E.K.K.A.s, against pretty much everything. This is a must in this deck. Minions are also very good in defense. The giant is gonna be your shield in offense. The musketeer is gonna be your defense against air troops like balloons, like dragons, like minions, and also very important in offense as well. And the witch is gonna be one of the most important troops on this one. So we're gonna see a couple of attacks from this one. Pay attention to how the deck is used. Some people are seeing a video about the deck and then trying using it, not using it the right way, and then failing a lot, losing a lot of battles, and then saying the deck is shit and stuff like that. So pay attention on how you use the deck and you're gonna be very successful with it. So whether you're outmatched or not, you want the elixir to fill until the end before you drop your first troop. There are two reasons for it. One is defensive and one is offensive. If you're playing the game for enough time, you probably noticed that some of the players are using a fast first strike on you. It can be a hog with a prince, giant skeletons with a balloon, I don't know, hog with a free spell. There can be many variations, and the whole idea of this one is doing a lot of damage on the first strike. It's very surprising. You don't have enough time to respond, and sometimes you don't have the defensive troops or the defensive buildings that you need to stop it. So either way, you want the elixir full to make sure that you have all the possibilities to stop this first attack. The offensive reason for it is because you're gonna use a combinations of troops which are gonna do a lot of damage to the enemy. It's gonna start from your defense and go to the enemy. So usually in the beginning you want to respond to what your enemy does and make sure that you defend your towers in whatever way you need. The whole idea of this one is gonna be dropping the goblin's hut behind one of your towers. This is the side that you're going to attack from, and then add the giant, add the witch and the knight behind it, and then the musketeer, the bomber, and if you can add the minions as well, even better, but usually you want to save them for an enemy attack on the other side. For example, so far on this one I was responding, the enemy did a lot of damage to my tower, and I'm gonna recover from it as you're going to see. So he's sending barbarians, I'm dropping the giant because this is the only thing I've got, and then I'm dropping the bomber right behind it, and he's gonna get rid of those barbarians. So the enemy is dropping a P.E.K.K.A. I'm using the witch because the skeletons are very effective against P.E.K.K.A.s. He's using a witch as well, and I'm dropping the musketeer to get rid of the enemy witch. So he's doing a very crucial mistake by using the fireball against my building. It's not really necessary for him, he didn't even get it, and I'm using that to add many troops to my attack. So I'm pretty much dropping everything I can, and it destroys pretty much everything on the enemy. He tries defending, but he got no chance, and I'm getting the tower. So he's dropping the fireball, but this is another mistake because I have so many troops on his side, and this way I'm getting all of the buildings very easily. So a bit of laughing, and we can go to the next attack. So the next one matched me again with a level 6. I'm getting mad in the beginning because I'm getting outmatched in Arena 4 every single time. Notice that I'm waiting for the elixir to fill up, and then I'm dropping the goblin's hut in the bottom of the base right behind the tower. The reason you want to do it next to your main tower is because if the enemy is going to shoot arrows or something like that, it's going to hit your main tower, and then your main tower is going to start shooting at your enemy, and this is going to be good for you. So he sent the knight and the P.E.K.K.A, I think, and I'm dropping a couple of troops to make sure that my towers are defending. So from this point, once you defended the first strike, you want to look for the opportunity to attack your enemy with your main attack. So I'm dropping the bomber to defend against that goblin barrel, and very soon you're gonna see the chance. So I can drop the second goblin hut, and this is very good because those goblins are doing a lot of damage to your enemy. They're bunching up when your enemy is attacking from that side, and this is usually a bad idea, attacking against those goblins hut. Usually you want to attack from the other side if your enemy is doing that. So he's dropping a P.E.K.K.A, and I'm dropping those barbarians to make sure that I'm getting rid of the enemy knight and the witch and a couple of minions as well. Notice again how the goblins are bunching up, and now 4 goblins are going to the upper part of the base. I'm dropping the knight, and on this one I noticed that I'm not gonna be able to do a lot of damage, so I gave up on the attack, and now I keep defending. So dropping the musketeer, he's gonna go further, and the musketeer can also do damage alone. You don't need anything else for it, and soon the opportunity that I was waiting for is gonna come. So he's dropping the Valkyrie, and I'm gonna get rid of it, and then you're gonna see what happens. So first of all, I'm dropping the bomber. He's doing a crucial mistake, dropping that goblin barrel when my bomber is still in the area, and now dropping the barbarians right into the bomber, and this is another huge mistake. So now the opportunity is coming. I'm dropping the witch, dropping a couple of minions to get rid of the enemy minions, and now I'm dropping the giant before the witch. You want the witch to go behind the giant. It slows her down and allows you sending more troops. Notice that I'm dropping the bomber as well, and they're gonna get rid of pretty much everything on the way. The knight is coming in as well. There are lots of goblins over there, and this is exactly how you want to do this attack. You wait for the opportunity to strike, and you do it exactly this way. And notice that it looks exactly the same like in the previous attack. The last minute of the battle is the most crucial. You can use a lot of troops on this one, and you can 3-star even level 6 guys while you're at level 4. I was actually doing that when I was level 3 as well. Unfortunately, I did not record those ones, or maybe I did. I'm gonna try finding them. So again, doing the same thing, dropping that goblin's hut, and now dropping the barbarians on the giants. So there's one thing I want to say about the barbarians. If your enemy, for example, is sending something behind the giant, usually you want to wait for the giant to come a bit further and then drop the barbarians on what's behind the giant. Those are the ones that are doing the most damage to your base, and those are the ones you want to get rid of. The giant is so slow, and later on the barbarians are going to take it out as well. So again, I'm waiting with the elixir. He's sending the prince, and I'm dropping a witch. Not the best idea, but I didn't have the barbarians, so I had nothing else to do, and he's able to do a lot of damage to my building with that musketeer. So again, I'm gonna recover from that. I'm putting up the second goblin's hut, and this is something that you should definitely do in your attacks. 2 goblins hut are doing a lot of damage to the enemy towers, and this is the way to do this attack. So he's dropping a Valkyrie. I'm using the knight to get rid of the Valkyrie. He's very effective against Valkyries. And now dropping the barbarians to get rid of the giants. So he almost got my tower. And one of the things that I learned from this game is that you want to defend your towers even if it has very small health. Sometimes this is going to be the difference between you and the enemy, and this is how this attack is gonna end. So I'm able to do some damage to his buildings. He doesn't have any elixir, and my bomber, musketeer, and the whatever is there, barbarians, I don't know, whatever is there, they're doing a lot of damage and getting rid of the enemy tower. And now I'm gonna start the regular attack, and this way it will basically be used for defense, because if you're pushing an attack, you don't allow your enemy to defend, because I mean you don't allow your enemy to attack back, because he wanna defend and he gotta use troops to defend, because if he's not gonna defend, it's gonna end up like the previous attack with a 3-star. But if he does defend, it's gonna end up with 1-star. But who the hell cares? I've got the win, and this is the most important. So again, I'm matched against a level 6. I beat it with this deck. So many level 6, and not only with level 2 witch, also with level 1, also with much lower level troops. So trust me, this deck is amazing if you use it the right way, if you defend the right way with it. I was doing a lot of defensive mistakes, and I was still able to recover and get the 3-star. So I'm dropping the musketeer to get rid of the dragon. This is your main weapon against dragons. Make sure that you don't use that against the 6 minions. You better use the witch against those minions. It's much more effective. And now the witch and the musketeer are going to the upper part, to the enemy base. He didn't have enough elixir, and I was able to do small damage. Another thing that you should remember is that you don't have to take out the enemy tower with one strike. If you can do it a couple of times, it is definitely more effective. The most important is that you want to gather elixir so you can respond on defense and also build your attack, especially in the last minute. This attack becomes very easy in the last minute because you're bringing a lot of troops in, and the enemy is very surprised. He doesn't know what's going on, and very soon he's losing his towers for 1-star or for 3-stars. It doesn't really matter as long as you're winning. It's all fine. So on this one, the witch is going on. I'm dropping the musketeer to get rid of the dragon and to get rid of the enemy witch, and now it's dropping the Valkyrie, and I'm dropping the knight, which, as I said, very effective against the Valkyrie. And notice how I built my attack, and I'm able to do a lot of damage to the base. Even though it dropped those skeletons and got rid of my troops, it doesn't really matter. I already got something like 50% of his tower, while he didn't do a single point of damage to my tower. So he's dropping the barbarians in the bottom, I'm dropping the giant, and I'm gonna start building my attack. It's gonna get rid of those giants very easily. First of all, I'm dropping the bomber to get rid of the giant, and then the minions and the musketeer. And notice how it was a mistake dropping the musketeer way too close to the minions, and it dies very quickly. And now I don't have it to get rid of the dragon, so it becomes a bit harder. And notice the goblins in the bottom, the way they gather are devastating to your enemy, because now they're gonna go to offense, and if your enemy doesn't have the arrows, if he doesn't have a fireball, he cannot stop this attack. So this attack might be a bit weak against a fireball or against that bomber tower, but if your enemy is not using it, it's gonna be a very easy win. So the last attack that we're going to see is gonna be the variation without a witch. I'm gonna use a wizard for that purpose, and this is gonna be on my main account. This is gonna be the attack that I accidentally clicked on, and I had to do the attack. So I waited for the elixir, dropping the hut in the bottom. He's using a hog, and I don't have anything to defend against it, so I'm dropping whatever I can to get rid of the hogs. He could do some damage, and that's exactly what I was talking about. In the beginning, you might not have the barbarians, for example, and you might suffer from a hog attack in the beginning, but this is just fine. As long as you can do the best you can to defend, it's gonna be just fine, even though he did something like 40% of damage to my tower. And right now I'm waiting for some more elixir so I can start building some attacks. So meanwhile he's dropping the barbarians, I'm dropping the giant in the bottom, and now I'm gonna use my barbarians to get rid of the wizard. So as I said, usually you want to get rid of the troop which is behind the shielding troop. For example, behind barbarians, behind giant, behind P.E.K.K.A.s, behind whatever, make sure that you're getting rid of the one that is behind. And notice how the wizard is going, the knight is in, a couple of goblins are in, and I'm able to do some damage to his tower even though he's using a free spell and his Tesla. This is going to hurt him because he was not able to get rid of my troops. I'm doing more damage and he wasted a Tesla and a free spell for that. So I'm dropping the Musketeer, and now I don't have anything to defend against the dragon. So the dragon is not doing a lot of damage to the towers. I waited for it to target the towers, and then I'm dropping the minions. Usually if you're gonna send your minions against the dragon when it's not targeting something, they're gonna vanish in 1 second before they can do any damage. So make sure that you're not doing it. And now I'm getting rid of the enemy wizard with my barbarians. He's dropping his barbarians, and now I'm dropping the bomber, which is very effective against the barbarians. The bomber alone, if you drop it in the right distance from the barbarians, can get rid of those. So I'm dropping the wizard to make sure that I'm doing some damage. I almost got his tower, and again he's sending the hog. I was a bit too fast with my troops, so he was able to use the first spell, and I'm dropping the minions. And now I'm starting my attack again, dropping the giant. You gotta make sure that you're dropping the giant before your other troops, and they're gonna do crazy damage even if the enemy uses a Tesla, even if he uses a fireball, a wizard, whatever he uses, he's gonna he's not gonna success in it. And I'm getting the win on this one, even though this guy got higher level troops and he's a level 7 against a level 6. So basically this is it about the deck. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments and I'm gonna try answering. Thanks for watching. If you're new on the channel, I would love if you subscribe. So we'll see each other in the next video. Bye bye.